social evolution. And the dancers are like the spirit. And spirit dancers, they're like the physical artists whose movements heal the soul. You know what you never hear them talk about in house music documentaries? The spiritual importance of artistic dancing. This film was like, yo, you gotta make it. No, you can't make me like this. You gotta make me like this. And we were like, oh shit, yeah. And we all ran with it. We jumped on the bandwagon, and it's becoming bigger and better every time we do anything toward it.
To one lady, young lady, I never forget, she said she likes Sinead. To us, you have the best art of like the gift of the world to dance. I'm like, what? I'm not even looking at it like that. Yeah, yeah.
I think what house music does is set you free. It sets your soul free.
I want you to go higher. I want you to feel the spirit. I want you to feel the love. And as you are listening to those songs, as a person on the dance floor, your body is registered with the message that is in the song. What I'm doing is creating physical art. I'm letting the music inspire movement that in combinations create beautiful action. It's evolution. It's a spiritual evolution. It's a musical evolution. It's a social evolution. And house music is a crucial part of it.
kids come and go. I mean, there's too much of it. Sometimes just too much of it to follow. So I used to go out clubbing and things of this nature back in the day. So we've always had house before the world knew what. You know how it is. You know how it is. You know how it is. I like what I like. Too many kids come and go. There's too much of it. There's too much of it to follow. So I like what I like. I mean, too many kids come and go. I mean, there's too much of it. Sometimes just too much of it to follow. So I used to go out clubbing and things of this nature back in the day. So we've always had a house before the world knew what. You know how it is. 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 You know what I'm saying? The house shit. Each one that voodoo stuff, so you might have to listen to it. You gotta put some juju on it and shit. You know how it is. You know how it is. You know how it is.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for waiting. Apologies being late for class today. It's your girl, Mary DROPPINZ here for Femme House. Dropping in for the DJ class. Happy Halloween week. Thank you. Yeah, I was like, where's everybody tuning in from today? I think I saw Montreal. Montreal is in the house. I'm going to be playing in Montreal in January. I'm so excited. SF, LA, Detroit. I'll be there next weekend. I'm playing Saturday night in Detroit at Tangent Gallery. Sick. Houston. Montreal, I guess because we're all homies here. It's not announced yet, but I'm playing Igloo Fest. San Diego, I'll see you hopefully Saturday night, Disco Penny Lane. LAOC, nice. Coveyas, Oregon. Okay, cool. Everyone's coming in from all around the US mostly. That's sick. Okay. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining. I figured for today's class, I do see quite a few familiar names in here. Hello, and also if I saw you this weekend in any of my gigs, good to see you here. Yeah, I just wanted to pop on and I feel like we could start this class with questions since it's a little bit more intimate this time. Usually I have a set plan of what I want to go through, but I know that we just had a class in September, so if anyone's coming back from that class, if you have any questions or if anything was helpful. Thank you, Cinderella, for the green tea delivery. First class service here at Killed with Kindness. So yeah, I just wanted to open up the floor first to questions, and then I definitely wanted to go through today a lot of the effects and different EQing and things on the mixer, because I believe last time we were doing a lot more just general mixing, and I think we did record box. Yeah, we were on the computer last time, so I'd love to just share more about what's going on the mixer here. More about effects. I feel like I know how to EQ mix with mids and lows, but not highs. Okay, I definitely want to know more about genre mixing. Okay, cool. Sweet, yeah, so I think that definitely diving into the effects is a super great place to start, especially with genre blending. Sometimes you can use the effects to help you kind of get from something totally different to a faster genre or something like that. So I think that the effects knob is super helpful for even just genre blending as well. And genre mixing going from 120 to 140, maybe getting out of 170 back to 120 range. Okay, cool. Sick. Sounds fun. All right. Well, let's kick it off then. Send it on over to the mixer. I need to get my nails redone. So they're growing out. Awesome. So let's just start by picking out a track over here. I have my USB in. What do we want to listen to today? Okay, so let's try. Let's just go over some general effects. I'm going to just pick a track and then we'll just kind of dive through everything on this section here in the beat effects area and everything over here as well. So we will just go for a little fun two-step vibe. You know me. First, we'll start with this effects section right here. I'm going to start with the space. I'm going to test the dub, test the sweep, test the noise, test crush, and test filter. I'm just gonna run through it. You'll see me, I'm going from left and then to right. So then you can just pay attention to that. So basically, right there, I'm using the space. It's kind of adding a bunch of new noise coming through that's fun. It sounds like cool, you know? So that's a good one. And then we got dub effect. If you change the parameter here, it's kind of just increasing the magnitude of the effect. So if you see me adjusting this, it's just because I want to add a little bit more. But mostly I'm turning the effects to the high pass to get the most juice out of it. You can really feel the noise one. It's like breathing air into the track. My personal favorite is the crush. Think of me when you use crush. I'm your number one crush. And then the most famous, the one you'll use probably the most, is the filter knob. So I'll show you from the high pass. If I turn it right, I'm gonna be cutting out all of the low end here, so the bass. And if I turn it left to the low pass, I'm gonna be cutting out the vocals and like the hi-hats and the high perks. So right now all that's in is hi-hats and high perks, so I'm gonna go left. I just was doing an adjustment on the clip here because it was pretty low. You feel the bass out. You can also disengage it on the mixer here, the 900 and most mixers that are connected to CDJs. You can disengage the filter with the button as well, so you don't have to have it turn. Okay, cool. I'll just mix one in and then we'll keep going through the effects knob and then we'll do some mixing between BPMs. All right, let's move on over to this effects section. Ooh. I add the dub effect when I'm like really excited and I'm just like, this is gas. I can kind of shift it around a little bit and it moves like that sometimes. So it's just like, just mess around with your gear. All right, let's check out this effects pad over here. We've got delay up first. Make sure that it's engaged to the channel that you want the effects to be on. And I want my effects to hit all the lows in the track, all the mids in the track, and all the high in the track. So if you have other plans, make sure you cut one of those out if you only want it to hit the highs or what have you. I typically like to do that with like echo. I'll only have the high or the mid hit, but you kind of just figure it out with what sounds you want to work with. So we'll put delay on 3/4 speed, so at the rate of 3/4. And sometimes some CDJs have like the BPM synced. If not, just double check that the BPM right here is similar to your BPM on your track so that the rate can hit it exactly how you want it and right on the beat. Okay. So let's go over echo. Usually echo, I like it at a 4th rate, just the way that it sounds, you'll hear. It just is nice. But you can hear here, you might have too much things going echoing, so you want to cut out the low. Sounds a bit cleaner, but you could cut out even more low with your filter here to the right. Turning this knob increases the power as well. So if I have a preference of which effects panel I use more, yeah, I have a preference just personally what I think sounds cool in a track, because, you know, using effects, what I think is important is it's like a little spoonful of sugar, you know? You don't want to give them all these effects and just blast them. I mean, every now and then it's kind of fun. You could do like a flanger, like big moment right before it drop and just send it all on it. But ultimately it's nice to, you know, just give a little bit. A little bit goes a long way with the effects. So, you know, I have my personal favorites that I like to add, especially with, like, for example, how I told you I love the crush. For me, the crush is really cool because I play a lot of breaks, a lot of drum heavy tracks, and there's something about the crush effects that when I hit it, it like crushes together the drums in such a cool way that I just think it, you know, works for my tracks personally. But I've seen like a lot of DJs that specifically DJ like house or tech house more so. They'll use like stuff like the noise one because it's like kind of adds a little extra layer of like a tension to create a bigger drop for them. And then I've seen some like bass DJs use a lot of like the space one because it adds just this like intense sound, like almost like a siren in a sense of this the way that it makes you feel. It's not sounding like one, but it can just, you know, just like create like this moment of intense energy that can then send you on to the next drop, or after it's dropped, it can create a tension moment to, you know, just increase the energy of the crowd, which it definitely works. I feel like I've noticed in the years that I've been DJing, using effects and little things, like even, you know, you see LP, she'll play on like the Pioneer DJ, this thing right here, I don't have it, but what's this one called? Whatever the one with the squares are right here, I forget the name of it, Daniela. I don't remember the name of it. Oh, the DJS 1000. Okay, yeah. So, you know, people love hearing when she drops her samples in there of like tolerance, acceptance, you know, like that stuff like creates intense energy and helps get people pumped up. So like it's like that's how I feel with like effects too and stuff. It's adding like your own little moment to, you know, intensify or create this like energy with your track, if you feel me. Can you show the noise effects on a house as example, pretty please? Okay, cool. Yes, we could do that. Let's get it pumping. Let's do like a little deep house track. Why not? All right, so I've engaged the noise. I'll start building it slowly because it's as if you're making it yourself. You feel that, it like creates that, and I think that works great for like doing that in house tracks when the drop's not super intense like you get with bass. So, you know, try it with one of your house tracks. I just grabbed one real quick. But yeah, it's like a prepare for takeoff moment with the noise. out. So what I did there is I'm just showing you an example of mixing from how sometimes I'll go from different genres. Like, for example, this was a deep house track, and now I'm bringing in a bit more of a minimal, kind of just like, almost like a crowd cleanser, but I call it like a transition track. So I'll find some tracks that are just kind of like, you know, nothing crazy is going on. I know that I could speed it up. I know that I could slow it down, but it's a good way for me to build and climb the BPM. So finding like some transition tracks and things has been super helpful. One way to get up to a BPM that you're trying to get to. The model of Pioneer decks that we're playing on are the 2000s Nexus 2, and the mixer is the 900 Nexus 2. My preference is the 3000s always, but I like this mixer still. This one's great. And so let's see what, is there a copy of the DJ 101 class from September? Did Femme House send that out? I'm not sure. Let me double check with them. I believe Femme House should be sending that if they haven't. And but yeah, I'm excited to also fill you guys in on some special news at the end of this, that we've got more coming. But yes, let's continue down where, you know, see where this track, like kind of this transition track, if you will, can get me to, because I was at 125, so let's see how we can get there. The decks and the mixer, I mean, this whole setup's like very expensive, so it's, you know, if staying cost effective is your goal, I would suggest getting the Pioneer controller. That is the best, like most cost effective and most translatable to this setup here. I don't know exactly the price range, but yeah, you better have probably like between 5 to 10K saved to get big, you know, CDJs. I think they're like, yeah, maybe like 2K each everything or something. So the controller, the Pioneer DDJ controller, is most cost effective. So we'll dive in. I'm just lightly moving my finger on the master tempo here, slowly building it up. Try not to make it too noticeable that I'm moving up faster. Another way I like to move the BPM up faster to not make it noticeable is adding like some reverb and effects and cutting the filter on the high pass so that it's kind of making my own breakdown. Or just moving it during a breakdown is always good too. I was just using the filter effects before I dropped it. But exactly, so it's kind of, now we're in an electro space here, and we were just playing deep house. So, you know, there's different ways that you can approach it. That's just one way, is like kind of having some transition tracks that don't have a lot of meat in them that can help you kind of get to that next space. Or, for example, let's say this is at 140. Now let's see if we can get to 170. We could mix in like a 150 track, kind of meet halfway and start building all the way to 170, or you could try mixing potentially on a breakdown and changing the master tempo here, which I'll show you how to change it to wide and everything. Let's get a 170 track pulled up real quick before my jungle playlist. Okay, see, I just tried to pull the 170 track down. It stops at 156. You're like, I'm trying to get to 140. How the heck do I do that? So just keep it at the middle here. I'm going to press the tempo. And now see, that makes me go down even more, but I still want to get to 140. So I'll push it again to wide. And okay, 140. So sometimes when it's on wide, it's like kind of hard to lock it right on the one. But keep master tempo on, because you don't want anything sounding like crazy, I guess, like pitching the vocals a lot. So let's try this. I'm just scrolling around on the track.
Understand. One thing Nancy can't understand. What make them a talk about me ambition? So what make them a talk about me ambition? Some bum pay you, who bum pay you, who what bum pay you, who 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 bum pay you. What a bam 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 dilang bam 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 dilang bam bam hey what a bam
So when mixing different genres, like, you know, I like to create my own experience with it. There's obviously lots of different routes you could take, but this is like how I do it, so. I went heavy on the flanger there. And then, yeah, so for like halftime BPMs, like when, for example, if I'm playing a track that's like 160, I mean, the half of that is like 80, right? So I'm like, I always have to still do that. But, you know, I like to personally have all of my tracks pre-analyzed in Rekordbox to be in like the 100 to 180 range. I don't like to see the tracks and like when it says 80 here. It's just a personal preference. Some people still have their tracks and they like to mix in at the 80, but I like to keep it at 160. So when I'm analyzing my tracks in Rekordbox, I just try to get them all analyzed within that range so that when I'm mixing with between my BPMs, I'm not having to go like, oh crap, this one's at 79. What's 79 times 2? All right, let's figure this out, you know? So I just pre-analyze everything in Rekordbox to be within the range that I prefer to mix in. So, for example, like, what was I gonna say here? Looping. You can choose spots to loop in. I just grabbed a spot really quick. I wouldn't probably suggest that one to be the loop, but that's also another way that you can mix in between genres, you know, keeping things on the loop. And just mixing in general. Looping is a great way to make mixes happen. So let's mix one more D&B track. Okay, so for like how you know where to start a track and where to cue it, it's kind of different for each track. So it is important to get in the best habit of reviewing your tracks before you play them. So if you want to add some cue points, knowing like this is a good spot to either loop it, or this is when the vocals come in, or this is when the bass comes in. That's why cue points are super helpful, so that you can kind of know where you want to start that track. It's definitely hard to stay up on. It's like probably my least favorite thing to do is like queuing up tracks, but it's very helpful when you want to figure out like where you shouldn't be mixing things in or mix out of certain things. And so I would suggest definitely adding cue points. It depends on the event, if I'm freestyling or if I have things cue points. Like if it's a big, like huge event for me, like a Coachella or Red Rocks, I've got everything queued up. I don't want to take any gandas. I mean, I do like to have room and space to, let magic happen, because I think that's what's really fun about DJing is you can freestyle. And you don't need to go up there with some like all pre-prepared set. You can have some fun and see what magic comes out. Like, for example, in my Red Rock set, I did have most of that all planned out. I knew what I wanted to mix. I knew what tracks I wanted to play. So I wasn't up there like, what am I gonna play next? Holy shit, I'm playing Red Rocks. So I like had that all ready. But then right before my set was about to end, my manager comes running up. They're like, can you play another 10 minutes? The next artist isn't ready or is running late or something. And so, right there, then I'm on the fly. So that's when you just, you got to trust yourself and trust that you've been practicing enough at home and you know what you were trying to do. And yeah, I ended up playing an A$AP Rocky track, like the original. Obviously, I was playing an electronic set of like house and breaks and bass. And then at the end of my set, I ended up playing like a A$AP Rocky track, and I didn't have that plan. And then I was like, holy shit, I can't believe I just decided to play that at Red Rocks. But then I got so many messages about that and like how people were impacted by that. And so I like to relieve room for unexpected things and magic to happen. I would say that I got comfortable doing that because of how much I was live streaming during the pandemic. So I kept my tools sharpened. And then I also felt like I was doing more comfortable with that after I went on tour with Sophie Tucker, because we were DJing and playing like 4 times a week, like on a huge run. So, and I was playing in front of big crowds. So that really like got me prepared to be able to do more freestyling. But most of the time when I'm DJing, I'm always freestyling. Yeah, we love a little serendipity. It's the magic of Mary Poppins. But yeah, with freestyling, how you want to organize your playlists on your USB and stuff, like that is so important, and is something that I also struggle with, is organization with music, because there's so many different feelings to music and so many different ways you can classify things now and so many subgenres. It's like, it's almost difficult to like place things. I can't just put one song and say it's house now. I'm like, no, this is like deep house, or it's like acid house, or it's like tech house, but then it's like pool party tech house, or wait, no, this is like nightclub tech house, or like, there's like so many different layers. So you have to find what works for you. And I'll be honest with all of you that like it's taken me these last 9 years to really figure out what works for me, because I often like, I'll get into like setting my genres and like having my organizing, but then things change. I learn more, and I'm like, I discover more. And so then I keep changing my playlists. And then so what's worked for me is like having playlists by party, because I remember like what vibe I was going for with that party. I remember the moments that I had there. So I usually, when I'm looking for that playlist, I'm like, oh yeah, the festival that I just played last weekend, I played this track, that's for sure in there. Or like the other party I played, like that was the vibe. So I know that it has those kind of tracks in it. So that's what's worked for me, but I want to step it up, because I'm going to be doing a little bit more B2Bs as I continue to grow, and they pair you kind of with people that you don't know. So I want to like be able to have my bag like super organized, that if I'm playing off of somebody else, I know exactly where to go to get what I want to get to play after them. So I encourage you all to encourage me to keep my organizing on a go system here and make it happen, because it is super helpful. So if anybody wants to drop the way that they like organizing playlists, or offer any advice, we're all ears here, all of us. Aura Awakenings. Oh, awesome. Any tips for opening and matching the vibe of the headliner? I'm actually opening for you in Detroit next week. I love that. So, you know, for me specifically, like when it's my party, I want anybody that's playing to be able to express themselves and share their art, you know. I think that so often there's a lot of headliners that like have specifications, like people can't go over a certain BPM and whatnot, but I'm not about that. I'm not about BPMs or genres. I'm just about good music. And I think, you know, everyone understands, like as an opener, you know, you're the first bit of sound that's being pushed through that sound system. So, you know, it's like nice to do like a comfy build, just even for the technology all around, just get everybody like all like, you know, wired and get it going. So in any way that you feel that you can express the building of a room within that and like how you want to do that, I think that that is like cool to have the freedom of expression. That's why I do what I do, is like I didn't want to have a boss anymore telling me how I needed to be. And so I like, you know, I just play what I want. And so I hope that everyone does the same. But yeah, there's a way to go about opening with the energy that you're omitting, you know, and like I wouldn't probably suggest, like, unless you were playing an opening for like Sarah Landry, to go in with like a hard techno set when, you know, obviously the headliners are like in more house or breaks or bass. But like that's, you know, stuff that I feel like most anybody that if you're getting booked, you know that anyways. So I just think that it's about, you know, being cautious to everyone's ears. Even the people that are working there, they're just getting their night started. So it's like, what can I play that's like nice and sets a mood, but then also like stays true to what music I like and the way I like to express myself. So I think that the art of figuring that out is definitely the toughest job. One of the toughest jobs as a DJ is the opening moment. So I definitely, you know, I'm excited to catch your set. I'm going to come out early, and it's like, you know, it's fun to just be you, do whatever you want, but like, yeah, you just pay attention to the energy levels that you're going, you know. And then okay, let's see what else. Like, you download the tracks, they're on your USB. What platform do you use to organize playlists? All my playlists are on Rekordbox. So the last class that I did was more of a deep dive, like in my Rekordbox, but we'll be having some more deeper dives about that as well. But that's the platform. I think that one of my favorite like tweets that like I don't even know who tweeted it, but I'm just like, the second that I organize my playlist, it's over for you bitches. You know what I mean? Like, it's good. Once you get that tight and right, and you know exactly where everything is, what you need to get, what you're going for, it's like, you're gonna be unfreaking stoppable. So that, that's what I'm about. And it's, you know, everybody has their cross to bear when they're deciding to become an artist or a DJ full time. And you know, so getting organized might be mine. Okay, so I did hear one time one DJ told me that they organized their playlist by color. I've always been kind of curious about that. Like, red tracks mean this, you know, purple tracks mean this, blue tracks mean this, and that could be kind of a cool way to do it. So I'm curious what, you know, works for different people. I think it's dope when you have like your own system. I've even had friends that have playlists that were like, vibey afters, like sesh vibes, you know, just weird ass playlists, like things that like fit like that. So, oh, I see. I've used astrology. That's pretty cool. I like that idea. Like the Aries tracks. Nice. 2 CJs or 2 decks, but would love to play on 3 decks. What is something that you know or learn when playing on more decks? Do you tend to use more than 2? Oh, great question, Emily. So yeah, with you know, I feel lately when I just have 2, sometimes I do feel limited. I like to have a third one because sometimes you want to keep a loop that's pretty cool running, or if you want to drop an acapella on something like big techno drop that you have, or you want to mix in multiple things. Like, I think it's nice to have more than 2 decks. I kind of prefer 3 now. So, but I just have 2 decks at home. So I think if I had a third, that I would be like demanding 3s, because then you just practice like that all the time. I'd be like, I don't know what to do without my third one, but I just have 2 practicing with that. So, yes, the energy wheels of 5th is great as well. Do you lose the Camelot wheel or just stick to the original keys? Do you even focus on the key when mixing? I like to focus on the key. My rule's like 40% of the time I focus on the key. I want to focus on it as much as possible when especially when I'm mixing melodic elements. Like if I have like a more trancey or like deep housey style track, like I probably want to mix in key after that, because if there's some musical people there, they'll notice, and most everyone that comes out now is musical, which is cool. So it pushes you to want to be like a little tighter, but I don't like to get stuck in a box. Like I feel like a lot of classically trained like music school kids that are just like all speaking the language of music only stay in a box and like only mixing key and won't go out of it. And it's like, how do you know that you couldn't do something that's just like freaking crazy, that's like mind-blowing, just because you step out of your box for a second? And that's why I think that I've prided myself on multiple genre mixing, is because I don't stay in a box and say that I need to stay on this vibe and go like this. And I'm realizing that it is like it's like there is this types of mixing. Like some people like to go to a show where the beat is steady the whole night, BPM steady the whole night. But I think that lately what I've noticed is the just unconventional, multi-genre, multi-BPM, changing it up, mixing, showing your control over the decks is something that the crowd's like super into right now, especially in America. I mean, I think overseas people have been into that since forever, but I think people in America are like getting down to like move their body in ways that isn't 4 on the floor and like typical. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. But you know, you don't necessarily have to stay in key all the time. I just think that it's a nice guide. You know, if you're like, I don't know what to play next, and it's between a few tracks, choose the one that's in key. Boom. Yeah, so that is great with like keeping things organized, having things in, you know, the key range is helpful. But I think I'm gonna crack this code. I'm gonna make a system that's just like undeniable here soon. I have a feeling, and I will report back once if I figured out the amazing organization tactics. But write an algorithm that does it automatically and share it with us. Oh my gosh, how amazing. We're going on Shark Tank, y'all. We're going the music organization algorithm. Holy shit, everyone stand up. Let's go. This is the idea of the century. Run all of our tracks through, and they know everything. They're not just like generalizing certain tracks as house. They're like going deep too. Like that's the move. So we'll get started on that, but in the meantime, we'll figure out how to do it manually and try not to let AI take over everything in our lives. Tips on avoiding burnout. Great question. I'm actually currently trying to figure out my own tips for that. So I'm tired, I'll be honest. I'm really tired right now. I've been going since end of February, every weekend about. So, you know, flying on the plane all the time like that, staying up late, playing a lot of your same music in a lot of places, even though you love the track, but like sometimes you're just like, I don't want to play this same one again, but I know that no one here's heard it and they got to have that experience too. A lot of that stuff like adds up, and then not being like, you know, steady at home all the time, like being able to write music all the time in your comfortable studio, like having to be on the road and just kind of making it work, sleeping in hotels, sleeping at friends' places, like eating out all the time. It takes a lot on you, I'll be honest. So for me, it's just when I get home, if I need to shut my phone down and not respond to people for like 24 to 48 hours, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be slow to respond. And getting over that was hard because, you know, like I care about everybody that I work with and that is in my circle. So I just, you know, after my shows, I have Monday off. Like, don't hit me up on Mondays at this point, unless we're going to the beach or getting A5. But other than that, Mondays don't count on me. So, you know, making time to have your like Sunday, if you will, that most people have when they have their 9 to 5. And so I have that, and then incorporating exercise and eating healthy. When I'm on the road, sometimes I'm like, I'm serious. Like, I'm not gonna go up to the counter and get a donut first thing in the morning and then be like tired all day, feeling like full or craving more food and stuff. So I have to be strategic. I can't be like, I'm like, I need to get some protein or healthy fats. And, you know, stay on top of it. Otherwise, I'm going to just get dead. And then going up there to DJ, I'm just going to be like, I want to be on my couch, like chilling. So I think it's important to make sure that you're making good choices when you're on the road. And that's helped me avoid burnout. It kind of becomes like a fun game, finding healthy snacks out. You know, doing all that's helpful. But then I think that from what I'm learning right now, something that I want to do is be comfortable with saying no to shows. Like, obviously, like, what a blessing. I get to DJ and play my music around the world. Like, this is the greatest life I could have ever designed for myself. But I need to be able to say no and, you know that it's okay to take a step back and like take some weekends off, even though you got a good offer, it seems like a cool party. I want to be able to have some more of that balance, and there is power in saying no. So that's something that I'm going to work on for this next year, to carve out a little bit more downtime. How did you start out playing locally, making connections? I play locally, have mixed SoundCloud. I want to start producing, just figure out how to keep growing. How did I start out? I booked my own self for the rooftop of the company I was working at for the summer party. And I just put Mary DROPPINZ on the flyer, and nobody knew who that was because my real name's Alyssa. And I just did it just to like create this kind of funny, like, what's going on? Who's DJing on the roof? And then when I was up there, everyone came up from the office and they were like, what the fuck? We were like, who the fuck's Mary DROPPINZ all day? And then they saw it was me. And so then words just kind of started spreading. People in the company were like, hey, we're having like a Cinco de Mayo party. Can you please come DJ? I was like, hell yeah, I'll be there. Pull up with my little controller, my little speaker, a fold out table. I told them like, you know, I just need power. And then I just played for the party. And then I had videos of me DJing. So then you post it to social media. And then other people were like, oh shit, you DJ? And I'm like, yeah, get in the mix here. And then they hit me up. And then I kept posting, you know, like when I was playing, even if it was just little house parties. And then eventually I made friends with other people that were on the same dreams as me. They wanted to also DJ. So we were like, let's find a spot in Venice and throw a house night, because back in like 8 years ago, there was no house music really being played in Venice, up in California. And we're like, let's throw a house night on Thursdays. We had a line out the block, like people were coming out, and that's just really how like word just kept spreading. So then other promoters caught wind that I'm playing and people are pulling up. And then it was just like rapid fire. So I think, you know, putting yourself out there and showing that you're DJing, like a lot of kids get frustrated because they're like, why am I not getting booked? And I mean, yes, you can be putting out mixes all the time, but some people want to see you actually moving. What does it look like when this person's DJing? What are they feeling? How do they feel? So I do think it's important to post videos of you playing. Like that's the best, that's your resume right there. Like mixes are great, like, but so many people can make mixes on Ableton too. Like I've had to be doing that now since I'm on the road. And of course they're gonna be flawless. I mix them in Ableton, like duh. But people wanna see how you run the room or how you, the energy you omit. So I think putting out videos of you playing, even if it's just like 10 seconds of just you dancing like in your room, like whatever, like let's feel it, you know, and then people can know. And then, okay, let's see, Love the Real takes, what was the crossover point financially when you were able to make this your full-time job? No, this is a great question. I was DJing for 5 years, balancing a full-time salary job. I was making good money and I had health insurance. I was killing it, but I was tired because I was DJing on all the weekends. And then even Wednesday nights I'd play and then get up for a 7 a.m. meeting. I was hustling for 5 years. And I'm glad I did it because I was able to afford my gear. I was able to not get annoyed by promoters who were trying to book me for $100, even though I know I was worth way more because I know what I bring. But like, I didn't piss off about that. And I feel like that's why so many people just get out of this and just dip because they don't have another source of income to back them up while they're just getting started. Like literally, I do feel like people just think you can just become a DJ and then like it's just a full-on trajectory of a regular career path, like becoming a teacher or whatever. But like this is magic, you know, this is artist shit. Like this is you know, there's still like that 1% chance that you'll make it and stuff, but there is a more of an opportunity now than ever to make a decent amount of money on here or to make a living off of this, but it takes time. So give yourself that time. I told myself when I first started DJing, I'm giving myself 10 years. And if this doesn't go anywhere in 10 years, like I'll bounce out. I'm going back to Nebraska. I'm gonna have family and chill. Like, but we're on year 9 and things are popping. So I don't think I'm gonna be stopping. And so, yeah. So after the 5 years of balancing it, I decided, because I was starting to get $400 DJ gigs and I had a salary job that was making me good money because I was in marketing and I went to school for that. And so I had money saved up. You know, I was saving each month and I had a good amount of money saved in my savings that I felt comfortable that, you know what, all right, like the world is mine. I'm getting booked every weekend. $400, baby, let's go. Like I'm going all in. I'm gonna show everybody I'm all in on this. I felt like I needed to do that. So then I quit my job and I had enough money saved up to pay rent for 6 months. So I was like, I'm giving myself 6 months, going all in. And then the pandemic hit like 2 months after. So that was like, what the, you know, had to tell my parents like, you quit your job with your health insurance. Like, what are you doing? Now you're on unemployment. The government's paying for you to survive. Like, what are you going to do? And I was like, I had my tail between my legs. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. But then, you know, you have to keep your goals in mind and you have to be scrappy. And so I just got on Twitch and started live streaming. Never would have planned to live stream before that because I'm a DJ, you know, like why would I live stream? I'm supposed to DJ at the clubs and the bars. And but then there's just this whole portal that opened and that's how I met all of y'all. A lot of people knew me through the live streams. That's how I met the Kill the Kindness crew, my family here that put on this beautiful production in downtown Chicago or wherever we are in this video. And yeah, it's like, it's about, I think the way that I got there was through community, not giving up on myself, and not being an idiot, and making sure my finances were okay when it was time for me to go full time. Because so often I see a lot of friends that are amazing DJs, they're sick, but they are expecting right away that they're gonna get that money and be able to live off of this. And then they get burnt out. They're like, they give up because then they start fighting with promoters. Like, this guy's only trying to give me $50. This guy's giving me 100. I could have cared less if people paid me because I had a job. Like, I was just out here to DJ and share my music, and this was my creative, like, individuality. This was my space. This is where I got to be my own boss. And so that's what just kept driving it. And then thankfully, with being on Twitch, then I was discovered by an agent and by management. And they also discovered me because I started putting out music at the time. So obviously, I've said putting out music and producing is super important to having a DJ career right now, because people want something tangible. And promoters want to book people that sell tickets. And how do you sell tickets is like people hear your music and they're like, holy shit, I got to go see her. I got to go see what this is about. So it's a lot of layers, and I don't want to discourage anybody, but give yourself a large amount of time to achieve your dream, and give yourself enough flexibility in your finances so that you're not hating your life. Like, you know, you can make it work. You can DJ and go to work and go to meetings and figure it out. You definitely can. I also went to production school while I was working and DJing. So, you know, Tuesday, Thursdays, I'd have class after work. And then, you know, you keep building from there. And then I made more friends that produce, and they taught me stuff, and collaborating, like all that stuff just goes from there. It's community based for sure. Yeah, do it for the culture. I went to University of Nebraska. Go Huskers. And then, for music school, I went to IO Academy. I believe they might have some online courses, but I did in person. Helped me learn a lot better because I was doing YouTube, and I needed to like work in a setting where I could talk to a teacher one-on-one. So that just helped me out. And then when did I start thinking about lighting visuals behind me? I started thinking about that in the last year, like when I had put out my first EP. Put out my first EP like 2 years ago, actually. So I guess in the last 2 years, I've been thinking about it. So to pair with my new EP, I thought it'd be cool to have special visuals for that. And then that's what got me like thinking about that for all my shows. And I've had those visuals. So it's time to actually get a refresh on my visuals. So 2024, we'll get a new fresh look. But yeah, so that's my story. I hope that was helpful. And I hope it still encourages you all to do it, because it is absolutely possible. It's just be strategic and get scrappy when you need, because you got to fight for your right to party. I mean, like, you got to fight for your right to share your art. And everybody wants to hear it, especially when it's authentic and you really care about this, because of just the music and the community. People feel that. It really gets displayed. And I do feel like, you know, I didn't have any ins in the industry or like any connects, but I do feel like a lot of the times that I get pushed over is because of my individuality and because of my character. I've been, you know, I show up for people. I'm a friend and I care about the scene. I try to do other things like this, like give free DJ classes to help encourage the next generation to keep sharing music and doing it this way. And, you know, that's what ends up pushing me over. Like, I'm not playing house and like what everyone plays, and I don't know anybody in the scene to like put me on and all of that. So it's just, I think that, yeah, if you have that kind of attitude, it will eventually win for you in the end, because it is rare in the music industry to have people that want to like work hard for this and actually care about the culture. So if I could just send everybody with that momentum, like, it feels good to care about the culture. Sometimes, you know, you have those artists that they come in, they don't give a shit about anybody, they're doing their thing, they got their connection who put them on, and it's like that works for them. But I will say, you know, majority of the community feels that, and when they see those people winning, they're not like too stoked. You know, they're like, you know, they just got put on because of whatever. But it feels like really rewarding when you work hard for it and you put the years in, because now like every time I'm like I got that Future of Dance on 1001 track list. Sorry, I'm blinking. And when I saw that, I was like, what in the actual fuck? I was freaking out. And I posted it and people were gassed up too, because they were like, yes, like we've been there since like 2016 watching you do this, and you kept with it. And so many people told me, change your DJ name or play more house, you know, or certain things like that. Or I thought you used to play techno. What do you play now? Like you're playing bass. It's like I am gonna just stay true to me, and it always wins in the end. So you guys all got this, and I'm excited. I love meeting everybody when I see you out. Thanks for coming up and like saying what up and always showing support on the internet, because you know it is important to do that for DJs, as you know. But it all adds up, and like I said, like I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for the community. So I hope you all feel inspired and empowered to get out there and keep sharing your music and your energy. And then we'll be back here. I will be back here end of November with LPGOV. It's gonna be so sick. We're gonna have a very special class for y'all about B2B etiquette, which I don't think is talked about at all in the scene, and I think it needs to be. So I'm very pumped for that. And then we should be also planning another in person here soon as well for Femme House. And I've got a little special something for y'all coming up. It'll probably drop in the new year, but it's going to be basically all of this knowledge that I've been dropping here available for you to have and to hold and to take with you everywhere. Keep me in your pocket. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, feel free to hit my line, and I hope to see some of you out. If anyone's in Seattle, Friday night, we're going off, me and Vanessa at Monkey Loft. And then Friday night, I'll be in Saturday night, I'll be in San Diego. I'm gonna play at this car dealership, unannounced. It's gonna be pretty cool. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. So, and Detroit peeps, I know I saw you earlier. Next Saturday is gonna be monumental. I haven't had my first headline show in Detroit yet, and I feel like, okay, like I've made it now. Like Detroit has called officially. I've got my show there. So tell all the homies in Detroit, everybody message everybody. I want to blow this one up and let Detroit know, like, because I play a lot of electro, and I feel like Detroit is definitely going to be my spot here. So I am pumped. And Minnesota, I definitely have to go. My sister lives there. But okay, amazing. Well, thank you all for joining. Apologies for being late, and I'm a little tired, but it always makes me happy to see everybody in here and feel your good vibes. So appreciate y'all, and shout out Killed with Kindness for my amazing office today. And I'll see you all next time.